And for the second time in 2 months, the city of North Las Vegas will pay a settlement to a family whose dogs were killed by police. Good evening, I'm Carla Wade. 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears broke stories on both of these cases about 7 years ago. And now she explains how much the officers' actions will cost taxpayers.
In October, the city paid $126,000 to Ed Wheeler, whose dog was killed by North Las Vegas SWAT. And last night, a second payout, $145,000 to settle a lawsuit filed by a couple whose 2 dogs were shot to death, also by SWAT serving a search warrant. Our coverage from 2014 lays out the case, the officers' actions, and the family's devastation.
I never had any kids, and he was the closest thing I ever had to a son.
A pit bull named Blue and his daughter Pinky, both dead at the hands of North Las Vegas police. We talked to dog owners Tom Walker and Kathy Cataldo in February.
But I think they should be held responsible for murdering my babies, because that's what they did.
In a federal lawsuit filed this week, the couple is suing the North Las Vegas Police Department and 2 officers for killing their dogs when SWAT served a narcotics search warrant at their home on September 14, 2012.
The Ninth Circuit has made clear that people have a constitutional right not to have their pets unnecessarily killed by police officers when they're executing search warrants.
Police spoke to us in February explaining it was a high-risk situation.
They're hoping for the best, but they're planning for the fact that these dogs could very well be trained to be weapons against us.
The lawsuit says North Las Vegas police engaged in a policy and practice of deliberate indifference in regard to the dogs.
But rather than try to diffuse a situation or come up with a plan to address these canines, it looks to me like they just shot and killed these dogs without asking questions.
Before serving the warrant, officers had set up surveillance of the home where they could see the front door and the "Beware of Dogs" sign in front of the gate. The lawsuit says Pinky and Blue were inside the fence walking to the backyard to go to the bathroom when officers approached the house, but officers did not yell, "Hold your dogs," before entering the gate.
I couldn't even speak before they started shooting. As soon as the gate opened, they were firing. And you know, my dogs didn't have a chance.
The lawsuit says the dogs had their backs toward the officers at all times, did not threaten or harm the officers, and did not even look at or bark at the officers. The Walker's home video posted on YouTube shows a trail of blood all around the property from Blue, who was shot 6 times.
They shot him in the butt, the hip, the shoulder. They chased him all the way around the back until he was hiding under a wheelbarrow. And that's when they started shooting at him again.
They say Pinky, a 10-month-old puppy, didn't make it past the front steps.
Pinky was laying right there in a pool of blood, and her legs were shaking.
In the lawsuit, Walker also alleges that an officer ordered him to crawl on his stomach, then kicked him in the head and told him not to look at Pinky. When I contacted North Las Vegas police, they told me their city attorney's office hadn't been served or had the opportunity to review this complaint. But in February, their account of what went down was very different than what this paperwork says.
Members of the SWAT team did tell them to put their hands in the air and also gave them orders to grab your dogs, grab your dogs. The male suspect stepped to the side so that the dogs could get between the male and the female suspect and run towards the SWAT team.
North Las Vegas says officers serving a search warrant are faced with the challenge of providing safety for the neighborhood, the officers, the dwelling's occupants, and any animals involved during a dynamic, high-risk situation. The lawsuit calls North Las Vegas's policies and practices unlawful, permitting its officers to shoot pet dogs without reasonable justification. It also alleges negligent training and supervision.
I don't think they're shooting dogs because they want to kill anybody's pet, but I do think that they're wrongfully assuming that when they go to the door, if a dog comes to the door, approaches them, that the dog is vicious and needs to be shot.
In 2012 and 2013, when the shooting happened, North Las Vegas police shot 19 dogs and 15 of them died. After our coverage, new state law was passed in 2015 requiring better training for officers in dealing with dogs. Darcy Spears, 13 Investigates.